Hey everybody, this is Robert, welcoming you back to another edition of Strat-o-Matic Replay. We have now purchased the 1906 season, and the 1906 season was pretty interesting because for the World Series that year, it featured a crosstown matchup between the Cubs and the White Sox. It was the Cubs' first trip to the World Series, and it was also an amazing World Series because in 1906, the Chicago Cubs had won 116 games, okay, and that's a record that's been tied but not broken, okay. Amazing in a 154 game season, of course, because in those days they played 8 less games than we do now today. They led the league in everything. They led the league in everything, but the hitless wonders they were called, and that would be the 1906 Chicago White Sox, okay, had the worst team batting average, pretty much worst team almost anything a lot, and yet they won the American League pennant, and they got called upon to play the juggernaut of a Cubs team that really looked like there should be no way they should lose that World Series. Well, you got to play the games, and we know that the White Sox beat the Cubs in 6. So what I thought I would do is I want to play the first game of that series. So let's take a look at it. This is going to be the 1906 World Series. This is Game 1, the Chicago White Sox at Chicago Cubs. And it looked like it's going to be a lousy day for baseball, according to Strat-o-Matic in this game. I'm going to let the computer take the White Sox. I'm going to play the Cubs in this one. And the starter is for the White Sox is going to be Nick Alt-Rock, and Three Finger Brown is going to be the starter for the Cubs. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Welcome to the stadium for today's ball game.
And let's first make some preferences here, and let's see, kill that, because we don't there, no play-by-play. Alright, okay, it's good, and let's see, custom, all that's good there. I thought I had this all set up already, but I guess not. Let's see, together. I think we're good there too. Welcome to Westside Park, home of the Chicago Cubs. Back in the day, as you can see, here, the photo we got here, it's a little bit not the best photo, but there weren't that many shots available of that stadium back then. Remember, we're talking 1906 here, people. So photography was still pretty much in its adolescent stage. Let's take a look, first of all, at the starting pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, and that would happen to be known as Three Finger Brown. This guy was, well, if you take a look at his 1906 pitching stats, you'll see he was unbelievable. 26 wins, 6 losses, a 1.04 ERA. Are you kidding me right now? You mean this man gave up an average of only 1 run a game in 32 starts? And only gave up one lousy home run. I wonder how much money he would get today if we were to clone him and put him out on the field. That's amazing. That is amazing. So he's going to be the starting pitcher for the Cubs. And I gotta kill that there. I don't want that. I don't want that. That's good. All right. So we're going to play the first game of the World Series of 1906 between the White Sox and the Cubs. Leading off for the Chicago White Sox is going to be Ed Hahn. Now, he was also known as Ed Noodles Hahn, and his 221 average, no homers. Really, in a game like this, there should be no way the White Sox should beat the Cubs. But you know what? You got to play the game. So I'm going to play the Cubs. Computer's going to play the White Sox. So play ball. And it starts off with a clean single. So there you go. Three Finger Brown on the mound for the Cubs. And there's the first base hit for the Chicago White Sox. As Hahn goes to first, we will hold him. And Fielder Jones will come up to bat. And there he goes. He's running. And the split cover comes up 11. And he will be safe at second. So just like that, you got a man on second base for the White Sox. So here's Fielder Jones. Fielder Jones, and that's a walk. So a walk given up by Three Finger Brown. And now here's Frank Isbell. And split card comes up an 8. That's a line drive right to Evers. And that will be 1 down. Runners hold. And now here's George Rowe. And Rowe strikes out. 2 down away. And now the clutch rating is in. So Jiggs Donahue will come up to bat. Clutch rating is on. And he struck him out. So they threaten but don't get any runs. We go to the bottom of the first. Now pitching for the White Sox is Nick Altrock. 20 wins, 13 losses, 2.06 ERA in 1906. Looking at his card, it looks like he gave up the occasional base hit, but he still was actually a pretty good pitcher that year. I mean, come on, 20 and 13, 2.06. He would still make you still get a $150 million contract, I'm sure, in today's world. Solly Hoffman will lead off for the Cubbies. And split cards come up, and it's going to be a base hit for Hoffman. He'll go to first. He'll be held, and let's take a look at this guy. This is Jimmy Sheckard, 262 average, got a home run. You'll hear more about this guy as we go further, probably. Jimmy Sheckard was actually a pretty good player back in those days of the dead ball era. Let's have a look at Hoffman. I think he's got a good stealing rating. Let's see if we can get him to. Let's see if we can get him to steal a base. Can he get? Let's see. And he can't get the lead. He won't attempt. Let's let him bat then. And that's going to be a ground ball to Rowe. He gets the out at first, but Hoffman will move to second. And that brings up Wildfire Schulte. There you go. Wildfire Schulte. That's what I call a baseball name. And there's a fly ball to center. Jones will make the play. Runner on second might have a chance to tag up. And we'll see if we can move him over. Split cards come up, and Hoffman is easily safe at third. Clutch rating on, so here's Frank Chance. And Chance grounds out to second to retire the side. So no score at the end of 1. We go to the bottom of the second. Here's Patsy Daugherty for the White Sox. Strike out. And that will bring up Billy Sullivan. That's a line out right to Chance at first. 2 men down. And now here's Lee Tannehill. Tannehill grounds out to third. And it's a quick 3 up and 3 down for Brown. And we go to the bottom of the inning. And Nick Altrock will come up to bat. Or actually put up the pitch, I'm sorry. And Steinfeld grounds out to short. 1 down. And that will bring up Joe Tinker. And Tinker grounds to short. 2 down. And now here's Johnny Evers. Now, for those of you who don't know a little bit about Johnny Evers was an excellent baseball player. In 1906, 255 average, a homer. He did 51 RBIs. This was not one of his better years, but Johnny Evers was an awesome player. If you want to look him up on Wikipedia, you'll know that he actually played some pretty good baseball. Evers fly ball hit to right. And it's a quick 3 up and 3 down. We go to the third inning, no score between the White Sox and Cubs. Altrock, the pitcher, will bat. Strike out by Three Finger Brown. And here is Ed Hahn. And there's a single to center field. So Hahn gets on again. That's the second time he's on base. And fielder Jones will up. Let's see, are they going to try to steal? We'll try to throw him out. Split card comes in. He is out. So a great play by Kling, the catcher, throws him out at second base. 2 men down, and fielder Jones will come up to bat. And the good thing that we did get him out because Jones hits a double, and he will go to second. That would have probably scored the run, but it just turns out to be a two-out double. Jones is on second, and Frank Isbell will bat. And it's going to have to be a play by Kling, and Kling catches a pop out. And the threat is over. We go to the bottom of the third, and speaking of Kling, he will lead off for the Cubs. And that's a clean single to center. Jones will throw it in, and Kling will go to first. And Three Finger Brown, the bat, is up the pitcher. Let's have a look and see what his hitting ability was. Let's have a look here. Let's see here. It doesn't look like he has a Batter card. He could probably. I think I'm just go ahead. We'll probably just bunt him over. So let's try to bunt. And he lays down a great bunt, and he beats it out. So it's not. It turns out to be a base hit. So the Cubs have runners at first and second, no one out, and Solly Hoffman will come up. And there's a single to center field, and he's got a 55% chance of, let's see here, 55% chance. I think we're going to hold all the runners, and we're going to make it bases loaded for Jimmy Sheckard. So the Cubs are definitely threatening here in the bottom of the third. And let's see what Sheckard does. Here's the pitch. And it's a ground ball. He gets the out at first, but a run does score. So the Cubs take a 1-0 lead, and they bring the infield in. So Wildfire Schulte will bat. And let's see what the split card said. It's going to be a line drop, fly out to right field. But he cannot get the run in. So there's still runners at second and third. And here's Frank Chance. Chance strikes out. Nick Altrock catches him looking. So at the end of 3, it's the Chicago Cubs 1, the Chicago White Sox 0, and we now go to the top of the 4th. Here's George Rowe. And there's a strikeout by Brown. And that will bring up Jiggs Donahue. And he grounds out to Steinfeld, who will throw him out at first. And here's Patsy Daugherty. Daugherty hits a ground ball to Steinfeld, and he can't make the play. It's going to be an error, an E5 on Steinfeld. And he's got an E20, so that means he's capable. In a 154-game season, he's probably going to make about 20 errors. So that's not terrible, but, it looks like it can give up the key play. So Daugherty goes to first. Billy Sullivan is the batter. And he tried to steal, can't get the lead, so let's see what the computer does here. And he grounds out to Tinker at short and get the force out. And once again, the White Sox do not get any runs in. A bad day here at Westside Park, home of the Cubs, in the year 1906. And Harry Steinfeld will lead it up in the bottom of the 4th. Let's have a look here, see what he does. There's a fly ball to Jones in center, and Jones makes the catch, 1 down, and we'll bring up Joe Tinker, who is 0 for 1. There's a ground ball to Donahue, and Donahue gets past him. He couldn't get to it, so it's a single. And the Cubs get a runner on first. Now when Johnny Evers will up, let's have a look at Tinker. Joe Tinker, he can steal the ball. He can steal. Let's see what happens as we try to go for the steal. Let's see what they say. 75% attempt to steal. He's running, and he'll get to second. So stolen base for Tinker, and now Evers will bat. And pop fly ball to Tannehill, who puts it on the ground. And that will make it for the second out. And now Johnny Kling will come up. Can he make a play? And he pops out to short as well. So still 1-0 as we go to the 5th. And here's Lee Tannehill, who will lead off. And split card comes up a 7. It's a line out right to Evers. 1 down. And now it'll be Nick Altrock. Split card come. And this one's a base hit. So on the ballpark weather effect chart. So Altrock gets a base hit. A rare hit for pitchers, but he got it. He'll go to first, and that will bring up Ed Hahn. He can't get the lead. I'm surprised he actually would try to steal with the pitcher. There's a fly ball to Hoffman, and it's a double to center. He couldn't get to it. His range is a 3 out there, so it was a tough play. Hoffman couldn't make the play. Runners at second and third with 1 out. And here's fielder Jones, and they're going to bring the infield in. I do agree with that. And here's Jones. Let's see what Jones does. There's a pop fly ball to third. Steinfeld with the catch. And they're 1 away from getting out for 3-finger Brown getting out of the inning. And Frank Isbell is up. See what he does. And there's a grounder to Tinker at short. We'll throw him out. And again, the White Sox can't bring anybody in. Bottom of the 5th. And 3-finger Brown will lead it off. He is 1 for 1. And there's a fly out, actually a foul out in the foul territory. Donahue will make the catch. It's 1 down. And here's Solly Hoffman. Hoffman, it's a fly ball to left. And Daugherty will make the play. And now Jimmy Sheckard. And Sheckard just line out right to the first baseman. That is clean play. So 3 up, 3 down. 6th inning coming up. And George Rowe. And split card comes up, and this is a base hit. So George Rowe gets the leadoff base hit. He'll go to first, and Jiggs Donahue will come up. We'll hold him. And he can't get the lead. And the hit and run is on. It's a force play to the shortstop. So they get the out at second. Donahue will take first, but there's one down. So the hit and run fails. Here's Daughtry. And Donahue can't get the lead. And there's a fly out to Hoffman at center. And you got 2 men out. And now it'll be Billy Sullivan. Split card. And there's a fly out to left. And again, the White Sox try to get a base runner, but they're unable to get runs in. It's still 1-0 Cubs in this pitcher's duel between Three Finger Brown and Nick Altrock. And bottom of the 6th inning, Wildfire Schulte. And that's a line out right to Rowe at third. That's one down. And now I'll bring up Frank Chance. Ground out to Tannehill. And he easily tosses it over to Donahue at first. And now Steinfeld will bat. And that's a fly ball to Jones in center, and he'll make the catch. So, at the end of 6, it's still Cubs 1, White Sox nothing. In the first ever World Series between two teams from the same city. This is 1906. This is the first game of that series we're replaying here at Westside Park. And according to Strat-o-Matic, it's a bad day. And look, if you notice a bad day in the bottom right corner, you'll see on the home run chart, bad days at Westside Park, it was pretty hard to hit the ball out. The Tannehill will lead it off in the top of the 7th. And they'll bring in a pinch hit. They're going to bring in Babe Town. Let's see what he does. And that's a grounder to Tinker at short. That's one out. And here's Altrock. And looks like looks like there's going to be a pinch hitter. And George Davis is going to come on to bat instead. He hits a ground ball to Chance, and Chance makes the nice play. 2 down, and now here's Ed Hahn. And Hahn strikes out, so Three Finger Brown does the job. And let's see, how many games did Yankee Ron Guidry win when he was voted American League Cy Young Award winner in 1978? You know, I should know that because I was actually living in New York. I think he went, I don't know, did he win, I think, 20, what did he get, 23 and something like that? 23 wins? Let's have a look. 25. Okay, I was off by a couple. Hey, I'm 47 years old. I was a kid back then. What do I know? Bottom of the 7th inning, Joe Tinker is going to lead it off against Frank Owen, who's now the new pitcher for the White Sox. So let's take a quick look at him. Frank Owen, 22 wins, 13 losses, 2.33 ERA, 66 strikeouts. Got a couple of saves. Frank Owen. Okay. Looks like he's capable. Let's see what Joe Tinker does. And Tinker flies out to right. There's one quick out, and Johnny Evers will bat. And Johnny Evers will get a base on balls, and you can see how it held at 90% how good a steal threat he is. So yes, of course we're gonna try to move him over, obviously. So let's see what he does. He can't get the lead. Still a 60% chance. I still like that. Let's see if we can get him over there. Attempt to steals off the races, and he makes it. So Evers goes to second on the stolen base. With that speed, he would have been very difficult to throw out. And Johnny Kling will bat. And he sees one go by him, and that's a strikeout by Frank Owen. 2 men out. Three Finger Browns is up, and I'm gonna let him bat because he's having a good game. There's a ground ball to Isbell at second, and Isbell will make the play and retire the side, so we can't get the run in. We go to the 8th. Three Finger Brown. Let's take a look and see how he's doing on the mound. It's the 8th inning. Let's see. Visit the mound. Putting the pitcher. Let's see what he says. And pitcher's okay. No fatigue yet. Okay. But the thing about fatigue, remember, back in the dead ball era, and even back in basically between from the 1900s to about maybe about the 1940s and 50s, relief pitching was very uncommon. These pitchers went the whole game, no matter how many runs they gave up. I mean, maybe you took the pitcher out after he gave up maybe 7, 8, or 9 runs, but like today, of course, if you got a starting pitcher who gives up 3 runs, you're wondering if he's okay. Okay, baseball, Back in the dead ball era, much different. And you'll see this as we go further and further into baseball history as I accumulate more seasons. Here's Fielder Jones to lead it off in the top of the eighth for the White Sox. There's a fly ball to left, and Sheckard makes the catch, 1 out. It'll bring up Isbell. There's a grounder to short. Tinker makes the play, 2 down, and now George Rowe. And a strikeout by Brown. We go to the bottom of the eighth inning. Frank Owen still on the mound for the White Sox, and Solly Hoffman lead it off and see if we can get some any insurance in here. And that's a good start. That's a walk. So Hoffman will go to first. He'll go to first. So let's just have a look at him. I'm pretty sure he's a threat to steal. Yeah, he's an A. So let's see what we get for a steal attempt. And he can't get the lead. It's a 1-10. 50% chance. Let's not attempt. Let's have a look at Sheckard. What's his hit and run ability? He's a B. Let's try the hit and run. See what happens here. Hit and run is on. It's a forced play to shortstop, and we don't succeed. So he gets the out at first. So Sheckard will be at first now, and let's see what we get for a steal of base from him. He can't get the lead. Okay, so we'll look at Wildfire, not attempt, and let's see if Schulte can get him in. There's a fly ball to Hahn and right, and he makes the catch, so there's 2 down. So last chance for us and Frank Chance, speaking of that. It'll be a chance for Chance. And there he gets out of the inning on a fly ball to left. So we go to the top of the ninth. It's still Cubs 1, White Sox nothing. And Three-Finger Brown, let's have a look at his... Let's see if he's got any fatigue now in this inning. And no fatigue, so let's let him pitch. Here's Jiggs Donahue, who will lead off. There's a fly ball to Hoffman in center, and he makes the catch. So 1 out, and it will bring up Patsy Daughtry. Strikeout, swing and a miss, struck him out. And there's 2 down, and last chance for the White Sox is Billy Sullivan. And looks like the Fielder Jones is going to bring in Bill O'Neill to pinch hit. All right, let's have a look at him. 248 average, 1 homer. All right, maybe just try to shake things up a little bit. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to right field, and Schulte will set under it, make the catch, and the Chicago Cubs win the first game of this World Series 1-0. Let's have a look at the box score. Here. Let's see. Solly Hoffman was 2 for 3 for the Cubs. Ed Hahn had a good day. He seemed to know how to hit Three-Finger Brown. Ed Hahn was 3 for 4, but that wasn't much they could do there. Brown will get the win. He had 8 strikeouts on the day. Nick Altrock takes the loss. No home runs. The only play was a play there with bases loaded, and then they managed to get one in. So they say Three-Finger Brown threw a complete game shutout at Westside Park, where the Cubs beat the White Sox 1-0. I mean, that was a close game. I mean, good pitchers duel between Altrock and Brown. So I'm actually thrilled to see how this game turned out. It's amazing, of course, that the Chicago Cubs were able to hit, and yet the funny thing is they only got 5 hits. They got less hits, one hit less than the White Sox in this game, but yet they won the game, and the Cubs even committed an error. But here in 1906, the World Series, it is the Chicago Cubs over the Chicago White Sox 1-0. I want to thank you very much for watching my replay here for 1906. 1907 will be coming up shortly. I would like to mention that as I go further and further into the season, if any of you would like to see me replay a certain game or maybe have an exhibition game between a couple of teams from the years that I've showed so far, please drop me a note in the comments. I'll be more than happy to do so. I'll take a look and see. I don't even have a problem if you want to even switch up the years a bit. If you want a team from 1901 to take on a team from 1906, and of course as we go further. So as you know, if you look at my channel, you'll see that for every year I produce a new Strat-o-Matic replay, you'll know that year is now available. Hey, it's going to take a while to get all these. I mean, Strat-o-Matic's a little bit expensive when it comes to the seasons, but you know what? I'm having a blast doing this. So let me know what games you'd like to see, from 1903, '04, because right now we're going from '01 to '06. I was thinking of starting in the 1800s, but I'm not a fan of that much old baseball, so I wanted to start at 1901 and move my way forward. Trust me, I can't wait to get to the 1911 season, the 1919 season. I'm thinking of doing the entire 1919 World Series between the White Sox and the Reds, the Black Sox scandal back then, so I might even replay that whole series out. So we'll take a look and see what we want to do there. 1927, 1934, 1961. Like I said, when we get there, we're going to get there. So for those of you who are watching my videos, I want to thank you very much for the watch. Please leave a like and let me know if you want me to replay a certain game for you anywhere on the schedule you like. Because some of you might not have these seasons, and if you don't, well, I'll be more than happy to play them for you. Hey, thanks again for watching. This is Robert signing off. I'll see you for 1907. Bye now.